right, everybody, welcome into the High Noon stream. Hold on, a couple of little things I got to do. No Wi-Fi networks found. So I rebooted everything just before we came on the show today because we've been having a few issues. Show goes fine, and then suddenly I look up and I see that we're no longer connected to the internet. I have late because of technical maintenance, is I guess what we'll say. Hold on, but now I can't. Oh boy, hold on. We'll be right with you, folks. I'm glad you. Please come on in, pull up a chair, enjoy. Adam Reyna has brought some nice baked goods on the back table there. You can help yourself. Some coffee. So let me try and get all this fixed. I'm just noticing that. Okay, so I guess I'm just going to reboot this entire computer. Hi, Leslie. Happy Friday to you, Leslie. All right, well, let me just run through all of the stupid stuff that I like to say here at the start of the show. Hi, my name is Pugs Moran. This is the Radio Misfits podcast platform where we do 2 live streams a day. The first one comes to you right here, right now, noon, Monday through Friday. We call that High Noon. And what we do here is we talk about topics, current events, headlines, anything that people are talking about, buzzing about. I go through them one after another. I say, okay, here's what people are talking about. Here's what they're saying. Here's what I think. And then we move on. We go to the next one. And I say, okay, here's what people are talking about. Here's what they're saying. Here's what I think. And then we move on from that. The second show that we do here at the Radio Misfits podcast platform, we do a show called Pillow Talk. That comes on every Monday through Friday. No, I'm sorry, Monday through Thursday. We take Fridays off. Familiar obligations. Yeah, weekends. You can't always commit. So this computer that I rebooted has now been restarting for 2 minutes. Just saying restarting. So, I don't know, maybe I need to crash out the whole thing. The Pillow Talk show is myself and James Parker. It's more conversational. It's a little bit more less topic driven and more, oh, that's interesting. Why don't you tell me more about that? The hiccups are coming. I don't know if you can tell this from my face, but the hiccups are coming. I can feel them. They're down here right now. I'm telling you, the more I think about it, I think it's a combination of me not saying anything for like 22 hours a day and then coming on here and just blah, blah, blah. It's a combination of that with the way I suddenly sit. When I sit here, I'm like bent over. And it takes a little bit of time. So, okay. So now I figured out exactly what I need. There we go. Here they come. Damn it. Here they come. They're here. Start of the show. Hiccups. This is like a surgeon having the yips. Seriously. It's all mental. Fuck. Excuse me. I'm sorry. I don't like, but it's so... I don't get it. I was fine. I started to do my talking today 15 minutes early. Got all the rhythm out. And then I came here and I sat down and suddenly I started talking. And now the hiccups. I hope you're enjoying this mental breakdown on the stream. Every day we do this. Every day. There is no way this show will grow with me spending the first 15 minutes of every damn show trying to beat the hiccups that suddenly pop up at 12:05 every damn day. Although, interestingly enough, a way that I've found to get rid of the hiccups is to just explode. Just do what I just did, because now here we sit. The computer has rebooted and my hiccups appear to be gone. Thank you. There was a method to the madness. The screaming, the yelling. Was a whole method to it. Sure there was. Just keep telling people that. All right, so now you've got to run down the 2 shows that we do here each and every day. Let's jump into the High Noon show. I will remind you that this show and the nighttime show both runs on your tips, your gratuities, and your kindnesses. There are ways for you to participate in the ongoing success and production of this here venture by, well, visiting any of the sites down there. You got your Venmo, you got... PayPal is such a problem. People are having problems with the PayPal, so, I don't know what to tell you about the PayPal. Ugh. Venmo and Cash App are probably the two best that we use. So appreciate that if you can. If not, that's fine too. No hard feelings. And now I feel like the hiccups are coming back. Leslie says you should start yelling at the wall at 11:50. I did today. Hiccups are back. Hiccups are back. I yelled at the wall. I started at 11:50 or 11:45. I just started talking out loud. Everything I was reading, I just started saying out loud. No hiccups. However, I prep while laying down, while watching TV with a laptop up on my belly. That's how I prep. So it's the laying down that then suddenly at 12:05 gets switched to this, where the body is now like crumpled, and now I'm talking, and now the rhythm. Damn it. Silence so that I can reset. I hate this. I absolutely fucking hate this. It's a good thing it's a stream. Good thing it's a stream. That's all I could say, because this would not float in real radio. This is just terrible. Hey, come join the show for topics and watch a fat middle-aged white guy battle hiccups for 15 minutes. That didn't go down right. I just took a sip of coffee and it felt like that's going to cause a hiccup. There we go. There it is, right there. 2 hiccups. It's mental. It's totally mental now. These are the yips. These are like a golfer who can't putt anymore. This is like a surgeon who can't trust himself not to like suddenly flinch while he's above an artery. I mean, I'm not to say that my stupid stream is as important as that. I mean, maybe a golfer, I mean, let's be honest, but not a surgeon. I'm drawing those kinds of comparisons. I'm just saying it's as disruptive to what I'm trying to do as those people, golfers and surgeons, and this is not a good one. Al says, I don't remember you having this issue on the Pugs and Kelly show. No, I didn't. Never had the issue. This is a thing here about me doing this, and it'll go away. It'll go away. We'll be fine in a couple of minutes. I'll have to talk through it. My rhythm, my diaphragm is going to have to get used to being folded over, like this, sitting down. On the count of 3, I feel like I'm just going to, let's just go through it. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Oh, deep breath. Had to get one last hiccup in. Let's hope it's one last hiccup. It is high noon on the 19th day of August for the year of our Lord, 2022. August 19th is the 231st day of the year. There are 134 days remaining until the end of the year. Made it through that entire sentence. Although I didn't give it the verve and the vigor that I usually do because I'm trying to maintain some level of calm regarding my diaphragm and breathing patterns. On this day in 295 BC. That's right. We typically don't go back this far in history on this day, but we do like to, throw a little flag down on the moments that meant something. And on this day, 295 BC. So what would that be? That'd be like 300 years before Jesus. I mean, this is like going way back. 295 BC, the first temple to Venus, the Roman goddess of love, beauty, and fertility, is dedicated by Quintus Fabius Maximus Gurges during the Third Samnite War. There you go. So on this day, the very first temple to Venus, Greek, I'm guessing, somewhere in Greece. Fun fact, it's a vape shop today. Today, that very same temple, it's a vape shop. For years, it was a Taco Bell, but now it's been turned into originally Temple of Venus, now a vape shop. Also, CBDs. You can get CBDs there. On this day in 1561, Mary, Queen of Scots, age 18, returns to Scotland after spending 13 years in France. So the whole Mary, Queen of Scots things, she was she was Catholic, right? And they didn't want her to be the Queen of England because she was Catholic, and England was, they'd moved over to something else. And who was it? Elizabeth the First, right? The Virgin Queen was her sister, and Elizabeth the First had to show that she was so devoutly religious and so in step with, I don't know, what is it, Anglicanism, the Church of England, whatever, Protestantism, whatever the hell people in England were, that they didn't want to be Catholic. And Mary Queen of Scots was Catholic. And even though she was next in line to be the ruler of all of Great Britain, she was sort of kept out because she was Catholic. And they were afraid that the Queen of England can't be a different religion than the people of England. So in order to make it seem like she was the better choice, Queen Elizabeth I, became so devout with, Church of England and all that kind of stuff, that she pledged to stay a virgin. She wouldn't marry, and that she would just be pure and all that kind of stuff. Anyway, that's all I know. That's all I know about Mary Queen of Scots. I think her son James was James I. Yes, because when Queen Elizabeth died, Queen Elizabeth I, when the Virgin Queen Elizabeth died, she had no kids. So at that point, it went to who's next in line? Well, next in line was the oldest son, James of Mary Queen of Scots. And I don't know if he was Catholic or not. Maybe they resolved all that in like the 20, 30 years or so, whatever the hell it took, for Queen Elizabeth to pass away. But I don't know. But I do know that Mary Queen of Scots' son became King of England. 1692, the Salem witch trials in Salem. The province of Massachusetts. 5 people, 1 woman, and 4 men, including a clergyman, are executed after being convicted of witchcraft. Good old days. I don't know. When were the good old days, people? When were we supposedly perfect? When did we perfect human society? Was that when? Was that 1978? Because I was around then, and I don't remember people going, this is the apex of human society. I don't remember that. Sure as shit wasn't 1692 when we were killing people for being witches. 1848, on this day in 1848, the New York Herald breaks the news to the East Coast of the United States that gold had been discovered in California. This marking the beginning of what came to be known as the California Gold Rush. And it would make sense too, because if on this day in 1848, a New York paper said, there's a bunch of mountains in California and they're just like shitting gold nuggets. If you said that on August the 19th in New York, you might go, I got to head out there to California. And it would take you 6 months to get there. And that's why it was the gold rush of 1849. See, because it's 1848 now, but it took you like 6 months to get to California from New York. That's why the 49ers are called the 49ers. All right, so there you go. That was on this day in history. There's gold in California was announced. On this day in 1944, World War II, the liberation of Paris. Paris, France rises against German occupation with the help of Allied troops. That happened in 1944. I talk a lot about our programming here on this show. I talk a lot about how I resist all of the things that we just say as people. We just say dumb shit all the time. Stuff that is not factually accurate. It's not historically even in the ballpark. It's just something that you can say around stupid people who don't know history, who will then hear this nugget from someone they think knows history, and now they think they've got a piece of history, and they just repeat it. Programming. It happens all the time. The best example of programming is anytime a Nickelback song comes on. Nickelback is the worst band in the world. Oh, really? Where'd you hear that? Where'd you hear that from like a million other people who've been saying it for 15 years? I mean, it's not true. It's not even remotely true. I mean, trust me, I managed bands. I managed some garage bands who were the worst bands in the world. Nickelback is not the worst band in the world. Shut up. You're not interesting. My favorite Christmas movie is Die Hard. Stop it. You don't think that. You don't think that your favorite Christmas movie is Die Hard. You've just heard that, and now you say that because, well, I don't know, maybe you lack self-confidence, and sometimes when you're around people, you feel like you lack interesting things to say, so you just regurgitate this vomitous nonsense that you hear other people say, and that is programming. Here's some more programming for you. The French are pussies. The French are a bunch of pussies. They can't do nothing. You people don't know history. Every time I hear that nonsense, and it's usually from some idiot who doesn't know shit about world history, say stuff about the French and about the French World War II, they just laid down. Fuck you. They didn't just lay down in World War II. Yeah, they're elected bureaucrats. Yeah, they're congressmen, for lack of a better term. I don't know what they're called over there, parliamentarians or whatever. I'm not sure. Their elected officials bent the knee to Hitler. Oh, they sure did. They made the elected officials, they made a deal with Hitler. They said, yeah, come on in. We don't want any of this nonsense. The people of France didn't do that. The resistance didn't do that. De Gaulle didn't do that. De Gaulle ran a government in absentia during World War II from London, from a hotel in London where he managed the French. Do you people not know anything about the French resistance? I mean, how can you not? Have you never seen a movie that depicted the French resistance? They were animals. They were absolute animals. They were like the Ukrainians. They were fighting for every ounce of land that they had to keep the Nazis at bay. And yes, the government opened the roads. The government said, come on by, and we're going to dissolve the army. There's going to be no opposition to you. That's when de Gaulle took charge. And please just stop with the whole, the French are pussies. You people don't know your history. You people don't know about the Carolingians. You people don't know about Charlemagne. You people don't know about Napoleon. De Gaulle, I mean, look, we're talking about de Gaulle, but please just stop with this nonsense, historically inaccurate bullshit that the French are pussies. The French have ruled the known world more times than we have. We're in our first run. The United States of America has a superpower. We're in our first run here, okay? The French, at least 3 or 4 different times in world history, have been the conquerors of the known world to some extent. And I say known world because, but just stop it. Just stop it. No, it's not, Jeff. The French flag is red, white, and blue. Sorry, Jeff. The French flag is white. Nickelback sucks. Stop it, Jeff. You're better than that. Jeff, you're a smart guy because I've seen some of the things that you've said. You know that's not true. You know you're playing into some stupid trope that only dumb people who lack a well-rounded knowledge of history believe. And I don't even like the French. I don't even know why I fight this battle. But I'm always like, do you not know about the resistance? Really? You think they just like, do you know the amount of casualties that the French civilians put up fighting as amateur soldiers in defense of their country? Oh, it's such a story that people just tend to completely overlook. All right. Let's go on. Sorry, just get me started. Don't get me started on the programming. I hate programming. I think I'm going to write a book. I think I'm going to start just making a list of all of these things that we're programmed to just say. And we don't really believe because we don't really think about them. It's just that we've heard them so much that we repeat them. And we just, throw it out there. Everybody says it, so I'm going to say it. But do you really believe it? I don't know. Exactly. 1991, the dissolution of the Soviet Union went down on this day. I remember this. I was a kid. I was I was working as an intern on a morning show. I just started. No, actually not. I think I'd been there about a year. Anyway, I was working on a morning show. I was going to school, and I was delivering pizzas during the lunchtime. That was my job. That was my day gig. I worked the morning show, went from the morning show to deliver pizzas, and then on days when I didn't have class, or on days when I didn't deliver pizzas, I went to class. And it was a kind of a slow period. We didn't have much lunch rush. So I sat in the bar of the pizza restaurant that I worked at, and I used to just watch daytime news. I just sit there, eat some cheese sticks, drink endless diet sodas, and, watch the news. And I remember watching the storming of, it wasn't the Kremlin, it was the Soviet, what do they call that building? Their Congress, but whatever it was, when that got stormed, I'm watching this live on CNN, and I'm like, I couldn't believe it. For a kid like me, raised in the 80s, a Gen X kid, the 70s, the Cold War, everything was about Russia's going to get you. The Soviets going to get you. The Soviets going to get you. They're going to drop them bombs. You're never going to know. You're going to have like 20-minute warning. 20 minutes, the sirens are going to go off, and then everything's going to be vaporized. That was my life. That was my entire life. And now I'm sitting here watching this superpower fall on television while I'm waiting for a pizza to be delivered. I mean, it was just such a weird moment. I will never forget that moment. There's another moment that I remember, a strange moment from childhood that we'll get to in a moment here. But that will never forget where I was when I watched the Soviet Union fall apart, watching people just storming the building and dragging people out. It was insane. It was insane. And it was the first time where I kind of looked around at the society that I lived in and I went, man, we got to stop taking shit for granted, because I never thought the Soviet Union could fall. Never. And it did. What else? On this day in 2004, Google Inc. has its initial public offering on NASDAQ. Well, if you were in on that back in 2004, you're probably not listening to this stream now. You're probably, I don't know, on the slopes of the Alps somewhere, or maybe you're in your Hawaiian villa, or maybe your Jamaican island. I don't know. But if you invested in Google back in 2004 on this day when it was first offered, you probably made some money off that. On this day in 2010, Operation Iraqi Freedom ends with the last of the United States Brigade combat teams crossing over into Kuwait. That was on this day in 2010. The official, I guess, end of the Iraqi war. Hold on. We're getting some birthdays here. But first, I gotta let the damn dog in because she's on the porch barking. I get it. It's funny. I figured out why the dog barks when I start doing the show. It was frustrating because she doesn't like to come in here. She doesn't like to be in here. She likes to be out on the back porch. She sits on the back porch and she just watches the world. She protects her yard. She hangs out there most of the time. But then whenever I start doing the show, you've noticed, I have to get up and I have to let the dog in because, before the show starts, I'll stand there with the door open and I'll go, "Did you want to come in now? You just come in now because you're going to bother me. You're going to interrupt the show. Do you want to come in now?" And she'll just look at me. She's like, "I don't want to come in." So I close the door. And we do the show, and like 20 minutes into the show, or 29 minutes as it is right now, 24, because I guess we started at 5 after. She starts barking. Why? I figured it out. It's because she hears me in here talking. She hears me in here making all of this noise. And she's like, "Who's he talking to? Is there somebody in there?" So that's when she demands to come in. All right, let's move to some birthdays before we get into the trends and the hot topics and the headlines of today, which is what this show is all about. Born on this day in 1919, died on this day in 1990. Was 81 years old. Malcolm Forbes, American publisher and politician. Was Malcolm Forbes a politician? I don't think of Malcolm Forbes as a politician. Maybe as like an ambassador or something. Is that considered a politician? When I was little, I looked at this and I'm like, oh, look at that, Malcolm Forbes. And then I saw that he died in 1990, and I'm like, wow, he's been dead that long? Because when I was really little, Malcolm Forbes was like the rich guy. Like, like now, I guess if you were 10 years old today, the rich guy would be like Elon Musk or like Jeff Bezos. But when I was little, Malcolm Forbes, Warren Buffett, and who was the other one that was like super rich that we used to be like, oh, they're the rich people. Oh, Adnan Khashoggi. But that guy didn't count anymore because I think he's dead. Well, they're all dead actually. They don't, but he didn't. He was different. He was like oil money. Well, I guess that's not different. All right, let's be honest. He wasn't American. Yeah, I only focus on Elon Musk. Ain't American either. He is kinda. Malcolm Forbes, born on this day in 1919. Born on this day in 1921, Gene Roddenberry, American screenwriter and producer, creator of Star Trek. In a lot of people's eyes, he's a freaking god. There's also a story. This is a weird story about Gene Roddenberry and who's the dude who started Scientology. There was because they were both like young science fiction writers, or they worked in that job. There was some strange story about Gene Roddenberry making an offhanded joke about who's the guy, who's the dude, who's the Scientology guy. This is like back in the 60s or something. Gene Roddenberry made a joke at his expense at the Scientology guy, saying that he should give up trying to be a science fiction writer or novelist or whatever he was, and he ought to just go and start a cult. L. Ron Hubbard. That's it. So it is it's a myth. It's a Hollywood myth, but it says that Gene Roddenberry is the one that told L. Ron Hubbard, your science fiction writing sucks, but people seem to like it, so maybe you just start a cult. And he did in Scientology. So I don't know. Maybe Scientology is Gene Roddenberry. There we go. All right, are we back on? I need to stop it because we just had that thing that's been happening. Maybe I need Ed to come over here and I don't know, look at this computer that the show runs on, because I swear to God, this has been happening now 3 days in a row. We're just out of nowhere in the middle of the show. It'll start, the connection will go away. And it'll say, we're trying to reestablish a connection. I need someone in the chat room to tell me if we're still on. Just someone in the chat room needs to say we're on. Never left. Okay, good. So that was just me. Here's what I'm doing. I'm paying more attention to the screen today because of what's happened the last 2 shows where we've ended unceremoniously, just been upended at the very end of the show. Yesterday's show was pretty much over anyway. I was out of stuff. And then, okay, so Jeff says everything's good on his side. Byron says it's fine. Okay, very good. All right, Gene Roddenberry celebrating birthday today, born in 1921. Boy, that was very hillbilly, wasn't it? Gene Roddenberry celebrating birthday. Gene Roddenberry celebrating a birthday today, born in 1921. Died in 1991. Billy Shoemaker, born in 1931, American jockey and author. Willie Shoemaker, is Bill Shoemaker? It's Willie Shoemaker, right? Wasn't he known as Willie? I don't know. He was like, I don't know, my whole life he was like the guy. Willie Shoemaker was like the jockey. I don't know much about horse racing, but I know that Willie Shoemaker was somebody. Renee Richards, born on this day in 1934. Renee Richards, American tennis player and ophthalmologist. Oh, she's more than that. That's not why. Renee Richards doesn't get a Wikipedia mention because she was such a great tennis player or a world-shaking ophthalmologist. No. She was like the first trans person, I think. First trans person? Well, I guess this is kind of a hot topic of the day, so maybe we ought to investigate a little bit more about Renee Richards on her birthday. Renee Richards is an American ophthalmologist and former tennis player who competed on the professional circuit in the 1970s and became widely known following male-to-female sex reassignment surgery when she fought to compete as a woman in the 1976 U.S. Open. I mean, look, good old days, 1976. Back in the good old days, we didn't have men trying to compete in women's sports like we got to. Yeah, we did. We just didn't have social media so that everyone, including your aunt, could get all ginned up over it. Come on. The United States Tennis Association began that year, the year of 1976. The United States Tennis Association began that year requiring genetic screening for female players. She challenged that policy, and the New York Supreme Court ruled in her favor. A landmark case in transgender rights. One of the first professional athletes to identify as transgender, she became a spokesperson for trans people in sports. After retiring as a player, she coached Martina Navratilova to 2 Wimbledon titles. Didn't know that. All right, there you go. So happy birthday, Renee Richards. Those things were going around in the 70s. It's not just a new thing. This isn't just the world is going to hell. Now men want to be women. Well, as far back as 76, that's been going on. And I suspect a bit earlier than 1976. Ginger Baker, born on this day in 1939. Ginger Baker was the drummer for Cream and a crazy person. Totally crazy person. There's a great documentary called Beware of Mr. Baker. And it's basically just about how Ginger Baker lives in South Africa. And he's really mean. He's really just a mean old man. It's good. It's good doc, though. If you like I love documentaries. I especially like documentaries about people who have accomplished something. And I like to just kind of see how they're living and how they went about accomplishing whatever. Ginger Baker's an interesting one. That guy. Is he dead? Yeah, it says he died in 2019. All right. Born on this day in 1946. Happy birthday, former President of the United States, Bill Clinton, 42nd President of the United States. Born on this day in 1963, John Stamos. Uncle Jesse. John Stamos. Any hot takes on John Stamos? He seems all right, right? Like, here's John Stamos falls into this interesting category for me because typically someone like John Stamos, I have no time for. I got no room for a John Stamos, right? I'm like, all right, so you're a middling talent. You're really good looking. I mean, I remember back when you were just Blackie and like, girls that I liked in 8th grade were all about you because you were on General Hospital. So I go way back with you, John Stamos. I remember when you were around. Good looking, probably life has been fairly easy for him. Comes from money. His family's got money. Of course they do. You don't become a celebrity in Hollywood unless your dad's worth millions and can support you while you just go on auditions for 5 years. So there's everything about John Stamos on paper that I should hate, but I don't. I like him. He's charming. He seems fun. He seems like a nice guy. You know what I mean? That's good. It's good when these things happen. Because John Stamos could have very easily been, like that, what's that guy, that Army Hammer guy, dude giving everything. He just kind of skating his way through. John Stamos is not famous because he's a good actor, okay? John Stamos is famous because he was a hot guy who said very little on a soap opera when he was 18. And then people were like, oh, yeah, people think that guy's hot. Let's just stick him in stuff. And because he seems like a nice guy and he's charming, he kept getting work, and he's been everywhere for 40 years. John Stamos just keeps popping up, and we just accept him, and that's fine because John Stamos is fine. Happy birthday to you, John Stamos. How about Kevin Dillon celebrating a birthday today? Born in 1965. Johnny Drama. Loser brother of Matt Dillon? I don't want to say loser brother, but Matt Dillon is certainly a bigger star if we're competing for filmography. I guess Matt Dillon would be the bigger, but Kevin Dillon, very funny as Johnny Drama. Just re-binged the entire series run of Entourage over the past few months. Very funny. Kevin Dillon, very funny as Johnny Drama. Kira Sedgwick, born on this day in 1965. She, of course, misses Kevin Bacon. Kira Sedgwick, I like her. She's good, right? She's fine. Kind of falls into a John Stamos category for me. It's not a deal breaker if she's in something, but it's also not going to necessarily get me to buy a ticket. But, if she's in it, I'll be cool, I like her. She's nice. Kira Sedgwick, happy birthday. Nate Dogg, born on this day in 1969, died in 2011, American rapper. Was Nate Dogg, see Dr. Dre's stepbrother or something like that? Was that the deal? I don't know. Maybe not. I don't know. I think so. I think Nate Dogg has something to do with something like family with Dr. Dre. I don't know. We'll move on. Matthew Perry, born on this day in 1969, umbilical cousins with Nate Dogg. Matthew Perry, of course, Chandler Bang from Friends. That's the thing that I always remember about Matthew Perry's Chandler character from Friends. That he got TV Guide delivered to his apartment. And it was always like a different crazy name. Like it was never right. It was never delivered to Chandler Bing. It was always delivered to like Chandler Bang. Or I just always thought that was funny. Happy birthday to you, Matthew Perry. How do I rate Friends? There are people, and I think it's people a few years younger than me. I think maybe it's the generation that was right behind me that really rates Friends much higher than I think it should be rated in among the greats of television sitcoms. Is Friends a top 10 sitcom of all time? It's not on my list. I mean, it's not on my list. Maybe top 15. I'd have to expand my list, but I don't think if I were to make a top 10 list of my favorite sitcoms, Friends would be on there. And I love Friends. Friends was great. Every appointment viewing, had to watch it, but yeah, doesn't make the top 10. Pugs hates Friends. But because it doesn't make my 10 greatest shows of all time. You realize there have been hundreds and hundreds and hundreds, maybe even thousands of shows. And because it doesn't make my top 10, I don't hate Friends. It's just simply not as good as Seinfeld or Arrested Development or It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia or Curb Your Enthusiasm or The Good Place or Community look, man, All in the Family, Mary Tyler Moore. There are just other shows that I think are better. But Friends is fine. Friends is a good show. Friends is a funny show. Love Friends. Cheers. Didn't even mention Cheers. Cheers gets put in there. See, it's going to be tough for me to find a spot for Friends in my top 10 sitcoms of all time. It's just Stipe Miocic, MMA fighter. Is he still the UFC heavyweight champion? Born on this day in 1982. Big scary guy from Ohio. Stipe. I don't even know these. There was a time when I used to be able to tell you probably the top 10 in every weight class. There was a time when I was so involved with MMA that I could tell you not only the champions in every weight class, but I could tell you the top 10, give or take. Certainly the top 5. I can't do that anymore. I have fallen off of MMA in the last couple of years, and I'll be honest with you, it's because I find it boring now. I find that the sport has evolved to a point where the people who are really good at it now simply know how to win. Like, and by win, I mean it's not just guys coming out trying to beat up the other guy. It's guys coming out fighting defensively, fighting to impress judges, fighting to protect points on the off chance that it goes to a decision. I mean, I don't like it anymore. I just don't like it. There's just not enough action. There used to be action. There used to be a fight that would drop my jaw to the floor on every card. And, it's been years now of me watching cards and going, well, that one sucked. Well, that was boring. Well, that was just, 5 rounds of 2 guys dancing around each other and then a championship belt being awarded by judges. I don't, that's not my thing. But Stipe Miocic, happy birthday to you. Also celebrating a birthday today, another guy, a guy whose name I love. Now I'm a big Formula One guy. I have fallen off MMA and I have embraced Formula One. Happy birthday to Formula One star. Although I don't think he's currently got a ride. Does he? I would have to check. He might be in a lesser car. Nico Hulkenberg celebrating a birthday today. First of all, can we just take a moment and just respect the name Nico? First of all, Nico as a guy, as a European guy. Hello, I am Nico. I mean, first of all, that's really good. That's a good start. It's a good start for like a European guy. But then your last name is Hulkenberg. Nico Hulkenberg. That is just that's an awesome name. Some people died on this day. Dead on this day in 1977, Groucho Marx, American comedian and actor. During my cultural education of my young son, when he was very little, 5, 6, 7 years old, we used to just sit and watch old Marx Brothers clips on YouTube. He loved them. Why? Because funny is funny. Funny is funny, regardless if it's shot in black and white. Funny is funny, whether or not it was funny in 1930 or if it's funny in 2022. The Marx Brothers were hysterical. They were just hysterical. And Groucho, man, that guy was quick. Pugs, it turned out that a lot of those lines that were attributed to Groucho being this immense wit, those were all pre-written. You know that, don't you? I don't care. Groucho delivered them like they were off the cuff and they were beautiful. They were quick and they were biting. They were great. Groucho died on this day in 1977. I can also say that this is one of those deaths. I talked about Elvis Presley the other day when he died, how I remembered exactly where I was. I was at the corner of 151st and LaGrange Road, right in front of across from the Chi-Chi's in the movie theater that used to be there at Orland Square. That's where I was when I heard on the radio that Elvis Presley was dead in 1977. On this day, also in 1977, I remember learning that Groucho Marx died because I came home from school and I got off the bus and I lived in a condo and I walked into the door. There was 2 doors for the condo. The one door you walked in and it was like a little lobby area and then you could hit the buzzer and you could get buzzed in. Or if you lived there as I did, you'd take your key out and you'd go in through the key. It's where the mailboxes were. It's where the newspapers were. And I remember I came home after school and I opened up and I'm standing in that little area and I'm getting my key out to put it in the door. And I look down and there is a newspaper on the floor and it's just got a picture of Groucho and it says, "Comedy legend Groucho dies." I remember exactly where I was. I wasn't even a big Groucho fan at that time, but I do remember being I was probably 8 years old. I do remember looking at that and going, well, that's kind of a big deal. He's kind of a big deal. He's kind of somebody. He's really, I'm 8 years old and I know that dude has been famous for like 80 years. I know that my grandparents love this dude. I know, you know what I mean? It was like that. So I knew that it was a big one. Also dead on this day in 2009, the great Don Hewitt, creator of 60 Minutes, creator of, here's a cool story about Don Hewitt. So Don Hewitt was working at CBS News as a producer. And he kind of sucked. Like, he didn't have great ideas for CBS News. In other words, like, the Cronkites and the Rathers and stuff, they didn't want to work with Don Hewitt because he was young and they didn't like this kid's ideas. CBS News also had this correspondent named Mike Wallace, who was an actor. Mike Wallace was an actor and a pitchman, but he was so effective as a pitchman that at some point somebody at CBS News said, I bet you we could get that guy that sells cigarettes to tell people the news. So they transitioned Mike Wallace from being an actor into being a journalist. Now, both Don Hewitt and Mike Wallace are hanging out here at CBS in 1968, whatever it was, dominated by Walter Cronkite. Walter Cronkite is the big, bull in the ring here. These two kids, Hewitt and Wallace, they don't have anything to do. And CBS didn't know what to do with them. So finally, as like a flyer, they needed like a replacement show. Like, well, what if we needed to put something on in a hurry? What if we had a football game on or something and the game was canceled? We need something that we could just throw on. Something that's cheap, something that's inexpensive. And Don Hewitt came up with the idea for 60 Minutes. And they all went, nah, that's stupid. That'll never work. But go ahead. You can make one. And there you have it. Anyway, that's it. These were two guys that CBS were trying to marginalize and they were trying to get rid of. And so they gave them a little project to keep them busy. And that freaking project turned out to be 60 Minutes. So there you have it. Don Hewitt. Also, dead on this day in 2021, Sonny Chiba. Sonny Chiba, Japanese actor. Sonny Chiba, you know him. You trust me, he's one of those that guy actors. If you've ever seen kung fu movies or Chinese movies, you're like, that dude. That's Sonny Chiba. All right, he died in 2021. He was born in 1939. Let's get into some of the things that are trending today. These are all of the topics that are causing people to buzz about in the world. Not a whole lot of really big stuff. I mean, aside from, I don't like to do the divisive political shit. I mean, I honestly don't care. I don't care about what people are arguing about politically. I don't like the divisive shit. But, I mean, the nearest thing to a top story here that's trending right now is Mitch McConnell. And I don't know why Mitch McConnell is necessarily trending over this, because I don't see this as being either an interesting comment on his part or unnecessarily provocative. But Mitch McConnell, while campaigning for candidates in Kentucky, was asked for his midterm projections, and it was a shock to a lot of people. McConnell apparently said, well, I think there's probably a greater likelihood that the House flips than the Senate does. Senate races, they're different. They're statewide. Candidate quality has a lot to do with the outcome. Okay, so now why? So let's pick this apart. Why is Mitch McConnell trending? Well, one of the reasons that he's trending is because all of the crazies in the Republican Party who are in the House are now freaking out, saying, what do you mean, Marjorie Taylor Greene? What do you mean I'm not quality? In Matt Gaetz, what do you mean I'm not quality? You know what I mean? Like, these people are all getting angry now because Mitch McConnell has basically put the Senate above the House. Which is true. I mean, there's only 2 senators from each state. And honestly, you can have like 1 million congressmen. Just depends on how you design your congressional districts. Congressmen are morons. Congressmen are idiots. Lorena Boebert is a they're not impressive. Senators are arch criminals. So there's a bit of a difference here, right? So here you got like, you got the congressmen. They're basically just pickpockets. The congressmen are just stealing your car stereos. Senators are rigging, entire systems. Senators are like making sure that only a certain group of people make money off of healthcare. Senators are in charge of, deciding, who we go to war with and who we're friends with. So there is a difference. So McConnell he said the quiet part out loud. He basically got on stage and went, congressmen are idiots. Senators are the important ones. And unfortunately, I don't think we're going to be able to flip the Senate this time. Now, another thing that people are saying is that this is McConnell, who has been openly agitated over the past year at the slate of celebrity candidates that are being pushed through the Republican system and being run as senators, and they're not doing well. I mean, none of them are doing well. So Mitch McConnell today admitted in Kentucky that he thinks that there's no way they're gonna win the Senate. So here's what we're looking at, folks. If Mitch McConnell is right, and God only knows, and honestly, at this point, I don't even care because it's been like this since 2016. We are looking at heading back to a situation where, like we had under former President Trump, where we had a House passing all of these things and then moving on to the Senate and getting torpedoed in the Senate, and nothing happens. Because when one arm is controlled by one political ideology and the other one, it's just a mess. It's just such a stupid mess. Although, yeah, so here we go again. So the House, so they win the House. Here's what we're going to look at. So let's just say that the GOP wins back the House, which, does not look to be a foregone conclusion because, first of all, they're at a deficit. So they not only need to, first of all, they need to tie in the House, and then they need to go ahead. They're down in the House. So if they can win the House, that'd be fine. But what we're going to be looking at is, we're looking at another situation where, let's just say that let's say Kevin McCarthy becomes the new Speaker of the House. They're going to impeach Biden. They're going to do the whole thing. They're going to impeach Biden over whatever because they'll have the votes because these people are nuts. Again, do I need to run down the list of the Marjorie Taylor Greens and the learned? These people are nuts. These people have no business making any decisions for the rest of us. Yet here we are. So these people are going to impeach Biden, and then it's just going to fail in the Senate again, just like it did with Bush, just like it did with Trump. Just the same. It'll be the exact same thing. This nonsense is not going to stop. So that's why Mitch McConnell is trending. People are saying, well, why does Mitch think that we're not going to win? Well, because he sees that you're running Dr. Oz and he's getting his ass kicked. That's why. Because he sees that you're running Herschel Walker, and Herschel Walker is now down 6 points. It was tied a week ago, and now Herschel is just going. Got Dr. Oz getting his ass kicked. You get Herschel Walker, who's probably going to lose. You got Marco Rubio. Val Demings is leading Marco Rubio by 5 points in Florida. Marco Rubio's going to lose in Florida. Or all I'm saying is, who's the other celebrity that they're running that they're not getting good traction with? There's another crazy person. I don't know. Whatever. All right. Here we go. Sorry, I almost jumped through. So that's why McConnell is trending. Conversion therapy is trending. This is a hot topic being discussed today. Pennsylvania Governor Tom Wolf signed an executive order Tuesday that would prevent conversion therapy practitioners from using state funds and taxes. The action also directs state agencies to discourage conversion efforts and establish culturally appropriate care and services for LGBTQ people. Conversion therapy is a traumatic practice based on junk science that actively harms the people it supposedly seeks to treat. That's according to the governor of Pennsylvania. Okay, so I guess this all depends on how you feel about conversion therapy. Do you think there's a chance that it works? Or are you like me and normal people and know that it's just complete bullshit and a money grab by people just looking to start a new business? Because that's all it is. Let me ask you something. If you think conversion therapy works, let me ask you this. You're a straight dude. I'm going to send you to a camp for a week. And when you come back, they promise me you're going to be gay. You think you're going to be gay? Let me just, Byron. There we go. We'll just throw Byron out. Byron, Jeff, a couple of straight guys. I send you to a conversion camp to turn you gay. You think that'll work? You think you're going to come back? Of course, it's not going to work. It's stupid. It's a money grab. It's a way for these things started in evangelical churches with people going, well, Mrs. Babish, I know that you're upset that your fruity little son isn't like all the other boys, but if you send him to me for a weekend and give me $500, I'll send him back to you pretending to be as straight as the day is long. Yeah, and that's the key, pretending, because that's all they did. These graduates of these conversion therapy things, they all fall back into being gay. Why? Because they're gay. Because that's just a thing. We don't understand it. I guess it's easy to just dismiss it as going, it's a choice. But let me ask you, if you are straight, Is it a choice? Could you just choose to start being gay? Come on, stop being stupid. It's just something we don't understand. Some people have that thing. Some people don't. Some are straight. Some are gay. Stop trying to figure it out. Just go with, I don't know, and move on. But sure as shit ain't a choice. I mean, I can't imagine. For some people, look, there are some people who are, they're bisexual and they just do whatever they want because, they're into it. So for them, it's different. But for the rank and file, let's just talk about us. Can we just talk about us? You and me, Jeff Ballard, Al, whatever you are, whatever your orientations are. If I send you away to somebody, there we go. All right. Now it says, oops, seems like one of your streams is having connection issues. Are we still on? Folks, are we still on? All right, I need someone in the chat room to tell me that we're still on and that we haven't been interrupted, because these flags that keep popping up on my screen that tell me that we're off the air are driving me insane. Okay, we're on. All right, very good. All right, so conversion therapy is trending. Marcell Ozuna of the Atlanta Braves is trending right now. Why? Because he got himself a DUI. Oh, boy. Marcell Ozuna, who likes to knock the ladies around, that's his big problem, is that he's been suspended for knocking the ladies around. Apparently, he likes to drink as well. Marcell Ozuna, Atlanta Braves outfielder, hell of a player, too. Although, I don't know, how's he doing this year? I don't know. I guess when I think of Marcell Ozuna, I think of him like from 2 years ago, 3 years ago, whatever. Atlanta Braves outfielder Marcell Ozuna was arrested for driving under the influence and a traffic charge, this according to Gwinnett County Jail records. Ozuna was arrested by police in Norcross, booked and released on Friday, this according to the jail records. Ozuna's booking sheet also showed he was cited for failure to maintain lane. Well, that's what happens when you're drunk. That's weaving, okay? That can't be two charges. It can't be two charges. Am I drunk, or am I failing to maintain my lane presence? Or are they the same thing? You double charging me. The Atlanta Braves are aware of Marcell Ozuna's arrest this morning and are still gathering all the facts pertaining to the incident. Our organization takes these matters very seriously and are obviously disappointed by the situation. As this is a legal matter, we will have no further comment until the process is complete. That's the Atlanta Braves. On star outfielder Marcell Ozuna getting himself a DUI. In God we trust. All right, so you're following this, you might be seeing this. This is trending on the socials. This is more with our schools here, man. Man, I'm glad my kid is smart. I'm glad my kid is really smart. Like my kid, he's a garbage person a lot of the time because he's 13, and all 13-year-old boys are about 70% garbage person. But there's that 30% that you hold on to that you're like, okay, that 30%, he'll carry that 30% into his 20s and 30s. He's going to be a good person. He's a decent human being. He has empathy. He cares for other people. He feels bad for others, so he's got all of that. But still, if I'm being honest, he's 13. He's a 13-year-old boy. He stinks. He's messy, he's selfish a lot of the time. So there are some problems, but I'm just banking that those problems come more having to do with his age than him just being a bad person, because he's not. I don't believe he is. But he goes to a school in Texas, and he talks to me about all of this stuff. Like, you know what? Never mind. I don't need. He doesn't need to be brought. His personal thoughts on things doesn't need to be brought in. So we're just going to leave him alone. But In God We Trust is trending today because Texas schools are at it again. Yesterday, 2 days ago, Texas schools were trending because they pulled the Anne Frank diary out of schools. Kids are not allowed to learn about what Anne Frank went through because Anne Frank's the bad one now. Anne Frank is the one that needs to be punished now. So no one should ever read her pathetic tale of woe in a Texas school. Or we should be fair, too. Not to all Texas schools. This is a school district, right? I mean, so this is being presented on social media to people who maybe don't live here, who aren't from Texas. We are doing the show from Texas. It's just all of Texas. You can't get Anne Frank's book. No, it's just one stupid little school district. One stupid little inbred moronic school district who has decided that Anne Frank is a bad guy. That's it. That's all it is. It's not all of us. It really isn't all of us. I promise you. Also, it should be mentioned, the Bible. The Bible has been also taken out of the school. I don't know. I need someone from the school. No, I don't. I was going to say I need someone from the school district to explain it to me, but I don't. I don't have any kind of interaction with people from that school district. This is ridiculous. So here's the newest one. As kids return to school, a new Texas law that was co-authored by Houston State Rep Tom Oliverson is allowing groups to place "In God We Trust" signs on multiple campuses. The law states that the signs must be displayed in public schools if they're donated privately to the school district. This is all being reported by KHOU in Houston. Similar signs have been donated to Carroll ISD schools. Oh, man. Carroll's been a problem. South Lake Carroll has been a problem for months now. That area, those people. Too much time on their hands and too much money. Similar signs have been donated to Carroll ISD schools, and the Yellow Rose of Texas Republican Women's Group has posted photos to social media of the signs they have donated. All right, so basically, if you're taking your kid back to school, you might just start seeing all of these like yard signs, "In God We Trust" everywhere. If it bothers you, if you are driving your kid to school and you see "In God We Trust" signs and you go nuts, it's like, God, blah, 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 blah. You're an asshole. You're an asshole. You are just as big an asshole as the people who put those signs there. Because we know that the people who put those signs there, they didn't put those signs there in the vibe of Christianity or in the vibe of Jesus, or they know not for that. This is all just about staking out your political territory. And unfortunately, Jesus has been politicized. You can only love Jesus if you're on the right. That is apparently the new rule. So my point is this. Is this an irritating thing? Yeah, it's irritating because I know what the motivation behind it is. The motivation behind it is to divide us, into those of us who love Jesus with all our love and we hate homeless people and we don't like minorities in our neighborhood. Those people, and then the rest of us. Don't be those people. Don't be those people, okay? You can love Jesus and still be a decent person. In fact, the only way I think you can properly love Jesus and respect Jesus is to be a decent person. Says a guy absent of faith. Says a guy who is a searcher for faith. Told you this a million times. I'm not a religious person, but I am a seeker, and I do strive to kind of make myself better as a human being at 80 than maybe I was at 30. You know, that's what this is about. It's a long haul. It's about trying to be the best version of a human being, a decent human being that you can. A lot of people use their faith to get there, and that's an incredible thing. That's a wonderful thing. God bless. People think, oh, well, you just hate people with, oh my God, no. To some extent, maybe I'm a bit jealous of people with faith, because the people who are truly devout, the people who have truly found that they have the answers that work for them, those are the lucky ones. Those people are luckier than I am. I'm still looking, and maybe one day my eyes will be dazzled and I'll find something and it'll be like, this is the thing. But having said all that, I think Jesus is pretty awesome. I think that guy, you called him a guy? For all I know. I mean, yeah, he was right. Okay, so is that even a debate that we're having? Like, Jesus wasn't real? No, I think he was. I think there's enough proof that there was a guy who at least, went around and did some of these things. I'm just not ready to sign off on, he was a wizard, that he was magic, that he came from the sky. I just think that he was a human being, and probably, look at all these thousands of years. He stood the test of time, so he must have done something that was pretty good. And all of the non-politicized versions of the word of Jesus that I've heard have been pretty good things. Seemed like a really good guy. So let's do this with the "In God We Trust" signs. Yeah, the people who are putting them up, they're the broken ones. Just let the broken people be the broken people. What you and me and the rest of us need to do is just not be triggered by it. Oops, seems like one of your streams is having connection issues. Am I still on, folks? Am I still on, or have I been just knocked off? Because I just got that. What is defragging? Where's Ed? Somebody last night said this computer needs to be defragged. I don't even know what that means. Ed? I leave it up to Ed. Ed knows more. Ed knows more than you. The person who suggested that it needs to be defragged. I don't know. I trust all my computer things. We're good. Thank you, Byron. Appreciate it. Thank you, Brian. Byron and Brian both helping me out. Tom Beller helping me out. Still on. All right. Thank you, guys. Man, our delay is really long. Really long. Because it's like All right. So there you go. So, folks, if somebody wants to put it in God We Trust sign, yeah, I know the whole separation of church and state thing, but don't fight that battle. We don't have to fight every battle. Every single battle doesn't have to be, everything doesn't have to be a battle. Pick the battles. Starting a knife fight amongst soccer moms in the carpool lane of your kid's school over an In God We Trust sign is not the way to handle this. 7-Eleven is trending. Isn't this a fun one? 7-Eleven is trending. Oh, thank heaven. Hey, you see this? Look at this. Yeah. Talking about getting all bent out of shape about In God We Trust signs. Let me show you something. This is something we could get bent out of shape about. Here you go. This is a 7-Eleven in Los Angeles. This is I'm seeing these more and more. Okay. So like it's happening in New York. It's happening in San Francisco. I saw one in Chicago. These things, I saw one in Dallas. All right, here you go. Here's a 7-Eleven. So here's what happened at this 7-Eleven in LA. Apparently, it's the return of the flash mob. Okay, do you remember the flash mob from a few years ago when texting and all of that social media first started to become a thing? You were able to gather large groups of people, strangers, in one area, and then you have some pre-discussed in the text sort of dance routine or something that you're all going to do. Whatever. Flash mobs, they were fun. Very 10 years ago, but whatever. Well, now they're back, and this happened in LA. And what happened was like 100 cars all coming from all different directions, sped into an intersection, blocked off the intersection. Cars began doing donuts in the intersection. You've seen these videos, these idiots. And then as soon as that was over, somebody said, hey, let's all go take over the 7-Eleven. So here's what happened. Here's some video, and you want to be upset about In God We Trust signs? Nah, how about we get upset about this? This is something we can all get upset about. 7-Eleven. Just help yourself, kids. Just help yourself. Yeah, just throw stuff. That's it, dude. You're cool. Throw stuff, break stuff. You dumbass. Just nothing but testosterone. 18 years of testosterone and disappointment. That's what that kid is. All right, now look at them. They're all jumping. Oh, get the lottery tickets. Get the smokes. Yeah. Look at this lady in the middle here filming. Yeah, that's right. You keep it for posterity. We got you on camera, bitch. You're going to jail. All of these people need to go to jail. Look at this bullshit. They're just kids. No, they're not. No, they're not kids. This is not any one individual. That is called mob think. That is just a group of people who are thinking as one. They're not thinking as individuals. They're not putting any sort of thought into what they're doing. They're just seeing someone getting away with something, and they're just doing it too. Because that's what we are. Humans. Oh, you can't see it? Did we were not able to see it? Was it too pixelated? Oh, well, hold on. Let me try it again. Let me see that one more time. Thank you for pointing that out to me. Boom, boom, boom. All right. Why was it not showing? Okay, here we go. Okay. There you go. Can you see that now? Now you can see it. Huh. Frank says the video is on Twitter, but not here. I have no idea what any of this means. Can you guys see this or not? Can you see the video that is playing currently? Say yes if you can, no if you can't, because then that'll tell me where you're watching it from. Your video has done this for days. It's part of a problem. What is the problem? Something is going wrong when you play videos. So, but is it happening right now? But is it, this delay is fucking killing me. Right now. Can see it now. Yes, now. Yes. Okay. All right. You guys. Yeah, I know. The last couple of days we've been having some issues, and I don't know what these issues are all about. and I apologize, but they are incredibly frustrating to me. I hate this delay. I hate this delay. I hate it. All right, so there you go. 7-Eleven. People just going nuts in 7-Eleven. Here. So there's a couple of things. There are two things that are trending. They are related, but they are two independent trends. One is world's coolest politician, which is kind of interesting. Okay, I'm intrigued. World's coolest politician, and then trending, related but not for the same reason. Santa Marin. Santa Marin. We talked about her yesterday. She is the cute 36-year-old prime minister of Finland, no less. And she got in a little bit of trouble because she is a 36-year-old woman, and she behaves like a 36-year-old woman. She goes out. She has drinks with the girls. She likes her red wine. Sometimes she just wants to go out and dance. Sometimes she's, let's get the girls together and dance. Yeah, she's also prime minister. But sometimes on Saturday night, I just need to dance. Just need to go out. So she does that a lot. And people are like, that's unbecoming of a prime minister. Well, you guys elected a 36-year-old hot prime minister. You didn't elect a 70-year-old, balding white banker, okay? You did. That's not what you made prime minister this time around. You went with a 36-year-old who likes to go to like EDM concert festivals and hang out in dance clubs, and she drinks a little bit. But here's the thing. I thought she was single. Turns out she's married. And so here, this is the new problem that she's dancing. She's now all these videos of her dancing with dudes, like dudes that are not her husband. Who would that be? First prime minister of, I don't even know what that means. All right, so I'm going to attempt to show another video, and we will just see how this turns out. Okay. All right. Hopefully this will work. Let's try it. All right. So, there we go. All right. It's on the big screen. I am seeing it on my end. So I am a check that box. I am seeing it on my end. So we should be good. All right. So here, this is the new controversial video. This video was taken hours after the video from yesterday, which depicted the Prime Minister of Finland at a friend's apartment, dancing in the living room and drinking wine. Oh, the outrage. I mean, seriously. So a couple hours after that, she went out to a club, and this is her in a club, and this is her. Here's her dancing. This is the Prime Minister of Finland. All right, so let's just freeze it right here. That's the Prime Minister of Finland, okay? And she's dancing with a dude in a club, and it's not her husband. So now we have to watch how they're dancing. Okay, so does this look like just two friends? Like, could this be her gay friend, right? Because he's gay. What do you mean I'm cheating on my husband? He's gay. All right, could it just be that? Could it just be innocent? I just want to dance, and he was there, and he likes to dance, so we just dance. Or is it something like that? Or is this romantic? Look at this dude. He is kissing the neck, right? That's what I'm saying. He appears to be kissing the neck of the Prime Minister of Finland, and she doesn't appear to be fighting him. All right, so let's keep going. All right, he is definitely the one leaning in, and she does appear to, in some way, be maybe keeping a distance. All right. Pictures of his hands. Where are his hands? Here. Let's go back to the beginning. The beginning is where it's the weirdest. Okay? Because he's leaning in. He's kissing her neck. He is being physically romantically aggressive. We'll say that. He's being romantically aggressive. is he trying to kiss her neck here? God, first of all, she really is pretty though for a prime minister, isn't she? She's... I love that meme. Have you seen that meme that's going around where it's a club girl? It's just a club girl standing in a club and she's got her drink in her hand and there's some dude hitting on her and he's just like saying something to her and this club girl is just like she's got dead eyes and she's just staring ahead and then the dude is leaning in and the meme says, "So you're the prime minister of Finland." It's just a very funny meme. I like it. Anyway, I like her a lot, and she's trending because that happened. But then earlier today, some of the members of the Finnish parliament, they demanded that she take a drug test. So she did that immediately. She was like, "You want a drug test? Fine," which is basically proof that she doesn't do drugs, right? If it's 8 o'clock in the morning, they're like, "I demand that the prime minister take a drug test." And then at 8:15, the prime minister is like, "Here's my piss. Who wants it? There you go. Who wants to give me a drug test?" So she took the drug test this morning. She passed it. There's not drugs in her system. So the opposition party there in Finland, they don't have that to go with. So, but now it's, oh no, so maybe she wasn't on drugs, but she's cheating on her husband. There you go. As I said, she's also trending with world's coolest politician. Because the people in Finland who do like her are like, we dig her. We like her. She's fun. She's fine. And come on, man. It's Finland, right? I mean, if any country could have like a 36-year-old party girl prime minister, it's Finland. Nothing's going to happen with Finland. Finland is... what has Finland ever done? Finland is like right there in the middle of countries. Like you've got like the big important countries, and then you've got, which was once famously described as the shithole countries. So you got like the normal world and the shithole countries. Finland is definitely in the normal world, but Finland is not like an important member of the normal world. Finland's not Germany. Finland's not France. Finland's not the United States. Finland's not even Australia. Honestly, Finland, if you were to put up a map of the world and you said, find Finland, it's 50-50 that I'm going to point at Sweden. Norway, maybe? No, Norway looks like it's got a head. So it looks like a sheep's head. So I can always pick out Norway. But I can't tell you that I would be able to go, oh yeah, that's Finland. My finger might be on Denmark when I say that's Finland. I don't know. I don't know where Finland is. Finland's not important, is my point. And if we can be distracted by having a fun little prime minister somewhere in Europe, it may as well be a country like Finland. Finland just joined NATO. We will defend them soon. Well, yeah, I defend her. If that's what they look like. By the way, that's the other thing. The pictures, I was clicking through some Bing images of the pictures of the Finnish prime minister at her party. It's just such a crazy thing because the prime minister of Finland, her friends are all hot. Her friends are all, she hangs out with like a running crew of like a bunch of club girls that she goes out dancing with, and they're all hot. It's like, oh my God. Imagine being the sexy, hot, the upper more important person in the club, the attractive people, the good looking people and you're also a leader of a European country. You're the party girl, dancing and singing, but you're also involved in your country joining NATO. I don't. Pretty cool. Let's see, what else do we have here? What else we got trending? It's Air and Water Show weekend in Chicago. So if you're one of my Chicago friends listening, I see that we've got a couple in the chat room. This is my favorite weekend in Chicago. And let me just tell you something. What is this thing? What is this thing that we do? Again, it's almost like the programming thing that I always talk about. What is this thing that we do where something really great, something that happens every year? Maybe it's something that maybe you come from. Okay, so let me do it in terms of Dallas Fort Worth or the Metroplex. Okay, so it's like we have Texas OU weekend, right? or even the state fair on a greater. This is a yearly event that occurs in this part of the country. And I'm just going to go ahead and say it. We all love it. We all love it. Texas OU weekend is fun, man. It is fun. When the state fair starts cranking out, we love it. It's fun, right? These are all great things. These are things that define the brand of Dallas-Fort Worth on a yearly basis. We look forward to these things. So what is this thing about? There's a whole group of us that whenever something like that happens, that shut up, it's awesome. Texas OU weekend, shut up, it's awesome. Chicago Air and Water Show, shut up, it's awesome. State Fair of Texas, shut up, it's awesome. What is this thing in so many of us that makes us go, especially on social media? Oh God, Texas OU weekend again. Get me out of Texas. Oh God. It's going to be a month of the state fair. This is the worst time to be in Texas. Someone save me. You know this bullshit that you see from people? I'm seeing this about the Air and Water Show, and it's why the Air and Water Show is trending in Chicago. It is one of the most magnificent events of the summertime. It is nothing but good memories for just about everybody it's been going on since the 1950s. It's a thing, and it's really cool, and yet it's trending because there are all of these idiot Chicagoans going, get me out of this town this weekend. I can't stand to be. Oh my God, if I have to hear another jet plane roar across my apartment building, I'm just gonna scream. Oh, stop it. Stop it. You're not aggrieved. It doesn't bother you. I live in a flight path to Love Field. I have, at about 5,000 feet, jumbo jets going over my house every 10 minutes. Guess what happens? You block them out. You forget about it. It goes away. Stop. Get me out of Chicago. This is the worst weekend to be in Chicago. The Air and Water Show is the worst. Can we just cancel this already? Can we just cancel Texas OU weekend? I am so tired of the traffic. One weekend a year? Really? One day a year? You just can't fucking put up with it for one day a year? You just want to go. And for the million people who Air and Water Show, oh my God, I hate this weekend in Chicago. Millions of people come downtown and it's so crowded. It's just so awful. I hate it. Aaron, for the million people that are all trying to get their little, look at me, pay attention to me. I'm aggrieved. I don't like this. I'm going to put this out. For that million of people who are like, get rid of the Air and Water Show, we get rid of the Air and Water Show. There's going to be 3 million next year going, why did we get rid of the Air and Water Show? It was the greatest. I hate people. That's just how it is. On a one-on-one basis, over beers, we get along fine. Just as a group, as a mob, hate people. Let me see. Oh yeah, why not? Let me see this since I'm trying to see. Now that I've fixed that. Let's see. I wasn't going to show this, but since I'm trying to see if I've got a couple videos coming up that we're going to have to show. So let me just see if this fixed it. Hold on. I tried to fix I did something. So let's see if this video works. This is just random video from the Air and Water Show. I don't even know what this is. All right, here we go. Let's see this. Oh my God! Oh my God, that plane is so loud! I just wanted to go to the beach! Why do I do this? It's the worst weekend in Chicago. Look at how awful this is. I just wanted to go to the beach. That is such cool sound, isn't it? That is a cool sound. Elvis Andros. Oh, look at this. Also a little Chicago thing. Old friend alert. Elvis Andros. Texas Ranger, great. Elvis Andros was a cash dump. The Oakland A's dumped Elvis Andros the other day. End of the year cash dump. They didn't want him to get his at bats. Apparently, if he had gotten 500 I don't know, some crazy number of at bats, and he was coming up on it, the Oakland A's would have had to have kicked in like an extra $7 million or something. So they cut him. They cut Elvis Andros, and good thing for me and my White Sox, because we just so happen to need a shortstop. Tim Anderson is going to be out until September. So old friend alert former Texas Ranger great Elvis Andrus has landed on the south side of Chicago, where he will immediately start at shortstop for them. He's there. He's in the building. I've already seen the pictures of Elvis Andrus in a White Sox uniform. Welcome aboard. Did you see that we lost 21-5 yesterday? Welcome to the South Side. Welcome to the South Side, Elvis Andrus. Your team lost 21-5 yesterday. 21-5. Let's see here. What else we got? House of the Dragon. House of the Dragon is trending. Actually, there's a whole bunch of different Game of Thrones type things trending. So I'm trying to whittle them down into just a nice little bite size. House of the Dragon is the prequel to Game of Thrones. Starts on HBO Max Sunday at 8 p.m. So there you go. So I this is a bit of a surprise to me. For some reason, I thought we were still like a month or so away. We're not. The new Game of Thrones show, House of the Dragon, will debut on Sunday. Now, I love Game of Thrones. I love Game of Thrones. In non-sitcom category, Game of Thrones, it depends. It depends on what mood I'm in. It depends. But it very well could be the greatest television show that I've ever seen. Might be my favorite television show of all time. Game of Thrones every night at Sunday was a major theatrical release. It was a television show that every week was as big, was as impressive, was as good, was as the story, the dialogue, the acting, the special effects, everything was as good as any Marvel movie that you might wait 5 years to see. And it was every single Sunday. It was an achievement in television. Now, it was cost prohibitive. It was way too expensive. It started, you need to keep killing people off once their characters become really big, because then they want pay raises. So, but at any rate, Game of Thrones was great. Very excited about the new House of the Dragon. I love the Targaryens. It's getting, how do I say, what kind of reviews is it getting? I'm not going to say it's getting mixed reviews, because I've read about 5 different reviews. And the consensus is that it's very good, that it's quality, that, look, Game of Thrones is quality. You either like this kind of thing or you don't. And, that's going to make you either watch it or not, but you're not going to not watch it because you think it looks cheap or because you think it looks stupid or the acting is bad. So that's pretty much the critical consensus. Now, most of the nitpicky stuff that they do say about it is just, for Game of Thrones nerds. And I'm a Game of Thrones nerd. So, a number of the reviews that I've read lamented that there was too much Targaryen. The Targaryens are one of the families in Game of Thrones. Game of Thrones is about a bunch of powerful, noble families who are competing to be the king, to win the throne. And it's an all-out war. That's what Game of Thrones is about. A bunch of families. You got the Baratheons, you got the Lannisters, you got the whatever, you got the Targaryens. That's from Game of Thrones. In this one, it's only Targaryens. Although they do say from time to time, they will mention the name of another house, and you'll go, it's the Baratheons. We know the Baratheons. But, that's pretty much the main criticism of it. So here we go. Here's the, we'll play this. Let's watch this. If you like Game of Thrones, it's a very exciting weekend. Whoa, that's too loud. That started out right away. Didn't like the way that happened. By the way, they're making a big deal of the Amazon Prime versus HBO Max battle between HBO Max and their new Game of Thrones prequel, which we're about to watch the trailer for, and Amazon Prime's Lord of the Rings prequel. And they're like, people are going to have to choose. And I'm like, not really. I love Game of Thrones. Game of Thrones is like my favorite. I just said it's probably my number one favorite television show of all time. And I've never seen a Lord of the Rings movie. I think a Lord of the Rings stuff sucks. I've seen enough to go, I'm not interested in this. Lord of the Rings, from my experience, is nothing like Game of Thrones. Game of Thrones is like porn compared to Lord of the Rings. Game of Thrones is very adult, very grown up, very violent. The themes are very mature, very, A kid can't really wrap their mind around some of the more difficult issues they're dealing with in Game of Thrones. No way. Very grown-up subject matter in Game of Thrones. Lord of the Rings is for kids, right? And so, I don't get that. Anyway, here's the trailer for the new Game of Thrones prequel. This weekend it debuts Sunday night on HBO. House of the Dragon.
He's the foot. The dream. It was clearer than a memory. And I heard the sound of thundering hooves, splintering shields and ringing swords. And I placed my heir upon the Iron Throne. And all the dragons roared as one.
Dragons! I like the dragons!
Consider the matter urgent. That of your succession.
Who else would have a claim?
The firstborn child.
Rhaenyra. No queen has ever sat the Iron Throne.
The king has an heir, Daemon Targaryen.
I will not be made to choose between my brother and my daughter.
Rhaenyra's succession will be challenged. Knives will come out.
You are the king. Your duty is to take a new wife.
I have decided to name a new heir. I'm your heir. War is afoot.
Do you think the Ram will ever accept me as their queen?
A woman would not inherit
That's a weird-looking
Iron
kid.
Throne, because that is the order of things.
When I'm queen, I will create a new order.
Your family has dragons.
There are power men should never have trifled with.
If Rhaenyra comes into power, she can cut off any challenge to her succession.
I am to inherit the Iron Throne. She will block my way.
Our hearts remain as one.
Our hearts were never one. Have you never imagined yourself on the Iron Throne?
Alright. How much longer is this?
Where is duty? Where is sacrifice?
Now they see you as you are.
Alright. House of the Dragon. I'm very excited. There you go. Although, here's my problem with House of the Dragon, because I refuse to watch episodic TV. I'm not going to watch it on Sunday. I might watch it on Sunday. I might watch the first episode on Sunday. But here's what I know. I know that I'm just going to have to, I probably won't see, I'll probably have to wait 7 or 8 weeks. I'll have to wait till I have like 7 or 8 episodes of this built up, and then I'll watch over a weekend. I'll watch like 3 episodes a night, right? And that's how I'll get caught up. Because there is no way that I'm going to watch 1 episode on Sunday and then sit there twiddling my thumbs for the next week, waiting for. I can't do that. We don't need to live in that world anymore. We don't have to. Another one of the complaints that some of the critics made about the Targaryens that I was reminded of after watching that clip there. It's too much blonde. Like, there's too many blondes. There's blondes everywhere. But if you know Game of Thrones, that's the mark of the Targaryens. The Targaryens are a family that have this strikingly white hair. They all have this crazy white hair. So that's how they know that their bloodline is pure and that you're really a Targaryen if you have the blonde hair anyway. So some of the critics were like, too much blonde. There's way too many blonde. Well, but that's the whole thing with the Targaryens. Their hair was striking. You were like, whoa, that's weird. The other thing that people complained about, and spoiler alert, okay? Jump out right now. If you know, it's not a big spoiler alert, but it is a bit of a thing that might bother you. So go ahead, jump out if you don't want to hear the spoiler alert. That little girl, or they showed that little girl, and I go, that's a weird looking little girl. That little girl has been used as the face of this series since they started promoting it. She's been on the posters. She's been on the posters. Like, where am I seeing posters? You know what I mean? Like, pictures that they're putting around, they're using her as sort of the face of the new series. Spoiler alert. Some of the critics complained because 6 episodes in, that girl goes away. 6 episodes in to the House of Dragon, the timeline jumps 10 years. So all of the characters that you've watched for the first 6 years suddenly get replaced by actors 10 years older than them. So that's something that some of the critics, they said they wanted more of the little girl. They wanted her to stay around, but they also needed that character to grow up so that you could have some kind of conclusion in season 1. And that's what they did. Look, Game of Thrones, that shouldn't be that much of a bummer. They cut Ned Stark's head off at the end of season 1 of Game of Thrones, the original Game of Thrones. The guy who from episode 1, scene 1, we were led to believe was the star of the series, the guy in charge of the series, the most important character in the series, they suddenly cut his head off. We're like, wait, what? That'd be like if at the end of season 1 of Beretta, they murdered Beretta, right? And then it was just like about Huggy Bear. Was that Starsky and Hutch? I don't even know. All right. Okay, so now here's also semi-related to House of Dragons, but Emilia Clarke is trending. Emilia Clarke, she of course played Daenerys Targaryen in Game of Thrones, Mother of Dragons. Well, I mean, one of the. All right, here's why she's trending. Before I go on with that, Emilia Clarke is trending because last night in Australia, I believe it's where they did a lot of the filming for Game of Thrones, they did a big premiere, walking the red carpet, the House of Dragons people, they were all down there. And like the president of Australia or something, some important dude from Australia said some shit that was like, people are like, wait a second, dude. All right. Emilia Clarke, she's trending. Daenerys Targaryen, Mother of Dragons. Stormborn, first of her name, Mother of Dragons. Emilia Clarke was issued a groveling apology after a TV boss referred to her. Oh, I'm sorry. No, this was the guy who's in charge of TV in Australia. This is like the guy who's in charge of HBO Australia. Emilia Clarke was issued a groveling apology after a TV boss referred to her as, quote, that dumpy looking girl at the House of Dragon premiere in Australia. Emilia Clarke as Daenerys Targaryen was referred to by this guy as, that dumpy looking girl. No, I don't know. I don't know. What are you talking about? Dumpy? The dumpy one who walked into the fire and had all the dragons. The dumpy one. Daenerys Targaryen? You're describing Daenerys Targaryen, Mother of Dragons, as dumpy? So I don't know. He was trying to be glib, while talking on the red carpet. And then he said something that he thought wasn't that offensive. It turns out it was. Clarke starred in Game of Thrones with House of Dragons serving as the prequel series. Addressing media at the event in Sydney, Foxtel CEO Patrick Delaney referred to Clarke's lead character Daenerys Targaryen, saying he was initially bemused when he first started watching Game of Thrones. I was like, what's this show with the short, dumpy-looking girl who walks into flames? What are you looking at? I got to see his wife now. Seriously, if he's looking at Daenerys Targaryen, and probably he's describing her while she was wearing her flowing Khaleesi robes, where she was all in white, and he sees her and he describes that as dumpy. I got to see his wife. His wife has got to be ridiculous if he just sees Emilia Clarke as Daenerys Targaryen and goes, look at that dumpy bitch. Addressing media at the event in Sydney, his comments were reportedly met with gasps at the event and sparked outrage after they went viral around the world. A Foxtel spokesman has since apologized for his comments, claiming it was an attempt at self-deprecating humor. How is calling somebody else dumpy an attempt at self-deprecating humor? You follow me on that? Like, how is he called somebody else dumpy? And he said, yeah, I'm sorry for that. I was trying to be self-deprecating. That's not self-deprecating. Was there a follow-up question? When the spokesperson said Well, he was trying to be self-deprecating. Shouldn't the first question have been, does he know what self-deprecating is? Because that's not self-deprecating. That's ripping on somebody else. That's not being self-deprecating is when you rip on yourself. If he had called himself dumpy, then maybe. Anyway. Crazy. All right. So for those of you unfamiliar, I thought, why not? All right. So let's just do this. All right. So this is the young woman, the queen, the mother of dragons that this dude saw and went, hey, who's this? Who's this ugly ass skank? Who's this awful? Well, there she is. That's not dumpy. I'm going to be honest with you. That's freaking gorgeous. Like the first time I saw Daenerys Targaryen in Game of Thrones, I went, oh, hello. Oh, okay. All right. Look at this. I might have a new... I certainly didn't go dumpy. I went, whoa. I go, that's a hot woman. That is a cool, powerful, strong bitch leader. That's what dumpy. Anyway, that's why she's trending. Emilia Clarke, you're not dumpy. Don't worry about it. But she does have like some kind of brain issue where she has seizures and stuff. So that's sad. But not dumpy. She's not dumpy. Emilia Clarke. Yeah, when I first started watching it and I saw that dumpy chick, who's the dump? First of all, there are no dumpy chicks on Game of Thrones. Game of Thrones is all... I mean, maybe like maybe the wildling that started hanging around with Hodor and Bran the Broken, maybe that wildling chick could be described as dumpy. I don't know. Or even like maybe Jon Snow's wildling bride, with the red hair. Maybe you could call her dumpy, but we're only calling these two characters dumpy because they're wildlings. Because they live a feral existence, because they're like feral people who live in the woods. They're not dumpy. Jon Snow's feral bride is actually beautiful. If you've ever seen her in other acting roles, it's like, whoa. Let's see, what do we got? Martin Short is trending. Martin Short is trending because, are we going to do all these? Well, I'm trying to see what we got here. The video's been okay, right? We haven't gotten shot offline or anything because of bad video. All right, because we've got a couple of videos here that we're going to show. Martin Short is trending. Martin Short is trending. Martin Short, let's be honest. Here's why Martin Short is trending. Martin Short is trending because Steve Martin was trending 2 days ago. And Martin Short and Steve Martin are best friends. Martin Short and Steve Martin share a manager. Martin Short and Steve Martin share an agent, which also means that Martin Short and Steve Martin probably also share a PR person. So the PR person got Steve Martin trending the other day, and now Martin Short is trending today because that's what happens. That's the job. Is that people trend by design. Celebrities trend by design. It's their PR people that get it started. They get it working, and then suddenly we're talking about Martin Short because Martin Short last night apparently went on Jimmy Fallon, and I do not like Jimmy Fallon. And I'm not a big fan of Martin Short on talk shows. I love Martin Short. I mean, going all the way back to the 70s and SCTV and all that. I love Martin Short. But just, I never really loved him as an interview guest. I always thought he was trying too hard and all that. Martin Short was on with Jimmy Fallon last night, and he just killed it. Like he was on fire. And I saw him trending and I'm like, oh, really? All right. So some PR person got Martin Short trending because he was on Fallon last night. Okay, I'll watch this. He crushed it. He absolutely crushed it. He was hysterical. So here, this is, we'll pull this up. Let's watch Martin Short on with Jimmy Fallon last night. They're going to make us watch a commercial. Nope. Okay. So here we go. This is a solid guest spot. This is Martin Short. He came out. He had all kinds of material planned, and he just let it all fly.
Welcome back to the Tonight Show. James Thomas Fallon.
Yes.
My God, your name screams out diversity. It really does. I'm so excited to be here tonight. Yeah, although that could be the Viking and Xanax talking, but I don't think so. No. In fact, it's hard for me to express how excited I am to be here tonight because the Botox is fresh.
Oh, you could barely tell. You could barely see anything.
Yeah. I haven't seen you since the big Saudi golf tournament. That was you. Who knew that you and the Crown Prince were such buddies? The giggling, and he's knitting, and you're holding the wool. It's so beautiful. Tell everyone what you were telling me about why the Proud Boys is so much more than a club. What did you mean by that? What does that mean? What does that mean? No, Jimmy, here's the thing about Jimmy. We do hang out because we're not just fake show business friends. We're fake friends in real life.
That's right. We really are. That is correct. How's your summer going, though?
Well, it's so beautiful. I've been up with the loons at my cottage.
Yes.
But, and do I regret my Kim and Pete forever tattoo? Sure. Absolutely.
You can fix it, sure.
Regrets, I've had a few.
Do I? Yes, I do.
And how about this? I was at Mar-a-Lago during the big FBI raid.
Wait, what?
Oh, I'm gonna lie. No, I'm a member there.
I did not know you were a member of Mar-a-Lago.
Oh, God. I don't like Trump's politics, but I love his omelet station.
Okay, all right, that makes sense. Well,
it's
that's a
so
reason.
Beautiful. And, it's so great because you can just, if you're a member, you can just read as many classified documents as you want.
All right.
Scattered everywhere.
All right.
I didn't even know you knew the Trumps.
Oh, I know the Trumps. I used to babysit the kids, for God's sake. Eric and Don Jr., we would play Monopoly, but their version is the winner is the first person to yell bankruptcy.
Oh, all right. There you go. Okay, that's why Martin Short is trending. He came out and slayed it last night. Typically do not like Martin Short on talk shows. Typically do not give Jimmy Fallon the time of day. But that clip was funny. He came out prepared. Bam, 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 bam. He controlled the pace, the tempo. Jimmy Fallon didn't even have to be there. Martin Short just showed up and was but that's a good guest. That is one hell of a guest. Where you can just sit back and not worry about it. Let's see. What else do we have here? Oh, we've got Man Fights Boy. Who's interested in that? Tell me that's not something that you saw that trending, you wouldn't click on Man Fights Boy. All right, so this happened out in front of a coffee shop somewhere. Where is this? Is this California? Probably. When in doubt, just say California. A dude and a 13-year-old kid got into a fight, like a grown-ass man. Here, let me see if we can see. I don't know that we're going to be able to see this one. I hope we can, because who doesn't want to watch a grown-ass man beat up a 13-year-old kid? Kid was in 8th grade, 13 years old. He's my son's age. All right, here we go. All right. So let's see if we can see this. So we're going to watch it, and then we'll talk a little bit about what probably happened here. All right. You got it? There we go. All right, so first of all, there are some things that I would like to point out here in the very beginning, because this is like my kid. My kid is this kid is supposed to be 13. He's in 8th grade. That's what my son is. My son is 13. He's in 8th grade. This kid, by the way, it's the kid who's on the ground. Obviously, the 8th grader doesn't have a bald head. Okay, so the bald head is the grown man, and the kid is on the ground. He looks like a big kid. He looks like a big 8th grader. My son is also a big 8th grader. So that's why I'm looking at this. But what I'm really impressed by, and this is how you know it's not going to go well for the grown man. Do you see what this kid is doing? Do you see the position that this kid is in? The distance that he is creating with his legs between the core of the older guy and the fact that this kid is armbarring this dude. This kid knows what he's doing. This 13-year-old kid takes jujitsu. This kid knows exactly. He's trying. You see the dude's left arm. See how the dude's left arm is going through his legs? That's because the kid's arms. The kid is holding on to that arm through the legs. And he's trying to. This is beautiful. Let's just watch how this turns out. Again, man fights.
Go get someone, yo.
So there you go. So this is pure jujitsu right here. There's no punches being thrown. It's all about core control. Kid flips him. All right, now watch this reverse. There you go. Backpack it all. The kid reverses the gut. Unbelievable. No reason to fight a kid. Manhood ain't what it used to be. Put your kids in jiu-jitsu. That's right, man. Teach your kid how to defend himself. All right. So I don't know what the story is here. There's no real details as to what happened with that story. It occurred out in front of a coffee shop in California over the weekend. Do the details matter? I mean, we could probably, knowing absolutely nothing about it, here's what I'm going to say happened. That guy is an asshole, and that 13-year-old kid is a little dick, and they somehow crossed paths in the lobby or in the in the coffee shop. They crossed paths. The 13-year-old probably said something shitty to the grown-up. The grown-up can't believe that a 13-year-old would say something shitty, so the grown-up then was like, "You better watch it, little kid." And then the kid was like, "Hey, I take jiu-jitsu 5 nights a week for the last 3 years. If this punk wants to really push me, maybe I'll put him on his ass." And that's kind of how it started. I don't need to know the details. I know the kid was probably an asshole, and I also know the guy was probably an asshole. That's two assholes ended up fighting. There's not one of these guys isn't, the baby Jesus. One of these guys is not totally innocent. They're both idiots. But here's where I need to take a time out and go, it's the grown-up's fault. This kind of situation, it's 100% the grown-up's fault. Now, if that kid attacked the grown-up and then the grown-up ended up fighting a kid in the parking lot, that's different. There is nothing about anything that I've read that suggested that there was an attack. This was about the most details that I get on this story this is the New York Post, from the New York Post, was that they got into some kind of an argument while in line at the coffee shop. So it wasn't like, this kid came out from behind a car and tried to steal this guy's wallet or tried to carjack him and the guy was just defending himself. No, this was let's go outside, and it turned into like this guy getting armbarred and reversed by a 13-year-old. It's a skip, man. It ain't like it was when we were kids. He's in school, so I will say this. At this stage of my life with my 13-year-old son, I'm not sure that I would bet against my son if he and I got into a fight. He's really good at jiu-jitsu. He's really good at throwing punches. He's known how to throw a punch. He's got a gym at his house with like all the boxing stuff and all that. So his stepfather's very big into that stuff. So he knows how to do that stuff. 13-year-olds today are not the way 13-year-olds were in 1982. In 1982, we didn't know how to fight. We knew how to brawl. And there's a difference between knowing how to fight and knowing how to brawl. 13-year-olds today know how to fight. 13-year-olds today, you run up into God forbid that kid's been in jiu-jitsu or something. And that's jiu-jitsu or judo. I'm not worried about karate and all that, the striking stuff. I'm worried about the kids that know what part of the body to grab that will cause you to need like ACL surgery. That's the kind of shit that they know. They don't have to punch you in the face. They don't have to. When I was 13 years old, I thought a fight was, I'm going to punch him in the face and he's going to go down. And then you find yourself in a fight where you punch somebody in the face and they don't go down. And you're like, wait, I thought it was just one punch. He goes down. I'm the No, fighting is about other things. Fighting is about knowing where you are at all times, knowing leverage positioning, knowing what your advantages are and what your deficit. You have to analyze all of these things before you get into a fight with somebody. Now, the most obvious thing that you analyze is before you fight somebody is you got to ask yourself, is this person going to kick my ass? That's the very first thing. And if the answer is yes, then you're like, all right, I got to get out of this. And if the answer is, no, I'd probably hang with this guy, well, then, you got a whole nother list of questions you need to answer for yourself. But, I'm just telling you, man, people out there know how to fight now. People have learned how to fight. We did not know how to fight. Yeah, there was like a weird kid in every neighborhood who, would practice karate in his backyard, and he was kind of a weirdo, but he supposedly knew karate, so whatever. That ain't it now. Everybody knows karate now. Everybody knows jiu-jitsu. Everybody knows wrestling. Everybody knows how to fight. I don't want to fight a 13-year-old. I got one. He screws around with me. He cannot stop it. If we are standing in line for a movie, Okay. My 13-year-old will be standing next to me and he will have my arm and he'll be doing all of these holds and chokes and like all of these kinds. He can't stop it. He's just constantly practicing it. And it hurts. It hurts. He's like, Dad, here, see if you can get out of this. Like, we're in line. Here, see if you can get out of this. And I'm like, and I can't tell him that it hurts because I'm supposed to be his dad. I can't let him know that he can physically hurt me. But oh my God, I don't want to fight a 13-year-old. My kid's huge. His shoes, he wears the same hat size as me now, and I've got a big jug head. Like, he can wear my baseball hats. He's 13. He can wear my grown-ass baseball hats, and they don't blow off. They're tight. You know, they fit him. They fit him right. He wears a size of shoe a foot bigger than me. I'm a grown-ass man. I'm a 6 foot tall grown-ass man. I wear a size 11. My kid wears a 12. My 13-year-old kid wears a 12. He came. It was humiliating. A couple of months ago, we went out to dinner and he needed a pair of like dress shoes because he had only brought gym shoes. And I go, just go in there and grab a pair of my dress shoes. You can put those on. He did nothing but complain. These shoes are so tiny. These shoes are like for a little person. I'm like, oh, shut up, dude. Shut up. They're size 11. Hey, I'm a grown man. That's a normal size. I'm 6 foot tall. I mean, you're trying to make me feel like I'm 4'10". Well, I don't know, man. They're a little tight on me, Dad. These shoes are tight. My shoe. And then I put on a pair of his shoes just to go walk across, and they were all big. And I almost tripped on the steps because they were too big. And that's just a mess. All right, what else do we got trending here? It's my kid's weekend. Very excited. I'm picking up my kid this afternoon. Although not this afternoon. It's a little bit different because he's got football practice. So I got to pick him up this evening. Okay, so there's a new show. Here's the last one that we'll do today. There is a new show. And look at this. We made it through the whole show. Hey, by the way, Ross Rubio, happy birthday. Saw it was your birthday yesterday on Facebook. Oh, that was too late. So happy birthday to you. I don't get on Facebook very much. Where's the last one? All right, this is kind of weird. All right, so here's the last one that we'll do today, and then I'll take a look and see what else is trending, what has happened since we signed on. So apparently there's a new show coming to, what is this, Discovery Plus? Because, again, I don't... What happened with these channels? When cable TV first started, the pitch was, there's going to be hundreds of channels. There's going to be something for everybody. If you like opera, you like opera, there's going to be an entire channel. It's going to have nothing but opera and classical music and ballet. And any time of the day you want to tune in to some culture, some high culture, you just turn to this channel and you're going to get orchestra concerts. You'll get Pavarotti. You're going to get ballet. It's called Bravo. And, bravissimo, bravissimo. It's all about the arts. That was the shit that they promised. You know what Bravo is now? It is nothing but Real Housewives. That's all. They have been... Oh, it's the Learning Channel. No, it's for people who are interested in really difficult subject matter. And it's not for everybody. You can't have that on network TV. But we're going to create a channel called the Learning Channel, where if you want to learn about science or if you want to learn about math, you can go to this channel. I know it's 1984. You can come to this channel, the Learning Channel, and you can just sit and you can watch people do math. Now the Learning Channel is like my 800-pound life. Hey, what's it like to go through life at 800 pounds? Want to learn about that? No. So Discovery. There's a new show coming to Discovery. Discovery Magazine. That was like the sign. You want to talk about bona fides. Discovery Magazine had bona fides. And it was supposed to be another channel for people who are interested in high-end topics. It's supposed to be another channel for people who like subjects, that weren't being given to you by NBC, CBS. It was a special channel, Discovery. Ooh, do you read Discovery Magazine? No. Well, then how do you know what Discovery? My dentist's office, there's a Discovery. Okay, so you know what Discovery Magazine is. Yeah, it's pretty boring. It's like all technical stuff. And, sometimes there's some fun scientific stuff, I guess. But, yeah, we're going to make an entire channel of that boring shit. Yeah, well, that lasted, a couple of years. And then they went, yeah, you know what? There's not enough smart people. We got like 5 people watching opera on Bravo. It's been 10 years of us putting classical concerts on Bravo. And we got like 5 people watching. Can we get some drunk housewives to just start fighting over, Thanksgiving dinner stay? Can we do something like that? Let's see if we get more of a bump as far as audience from that rather than running the Pavarotti special again. So there's a new Discovery Plus docuseries. It's a docuseries. It's real. It's Discovery. This is science. A new Discovery docuseries wants to leak your sex tape. That's right, Discovery. If you've got a sex tape, send it into Discovery because they want to put it on. Good Sex, premiering on August the 19th. Hey, look at that. It's tonight. Good Sex premieres tonight, challenges couples to film their most intimate moments and then review them with a sex coach to see where they went wrong. Okay, so I don't even go. Okay, so you get it, right? Discovery, the science magazine. Sex tape channel. It's now the sex tape channel. I don't understand. I don't understand any of that shit. I don't understand hoarders. I don't understand storage wars. I don't understand Honey Boo Boo. I don't understand My 800-Pound Life. I don't understand, hey, I'm a dwarf and now I'm married. All of these shows, they seem so freaking exploitative to me. I'm watching these things and I'm like, okay, so I'm watching the 800-Pound Life. The only reason I'm watching this is so that I can sit there and feel superior to this person who has obviously gone through some kind of biological tragedy that they've ended up at 800 pounds. And now I'm going to sit here in my living room with my big bowl of cheese doodles. And I'm going to be like, yeah, I'm fat, but I ain't that fat. Is that really the only reason we're watching these things? I don't get it. I don't get it. Sex tape show. All right. So that's going to do it. Those are all the things that were provided before we went on the air. Let's see what's happening. Let's just quickly run through let's see what the latest is. What's happening on Twitter? We'll check Twitter first. I can't believe we made it through. Adam Reyna says, I fuck like old man dance. Could use a coach. Yeah. Yep. I don't know. I don't like reality shows. I mean, I'm trying to think. I like reality shows. I'm trying to think because I do watch some reality shows, but do we still consider like Hard Knocks a reality show? Because I do, kind of, I do. I guess that's like the closest thing to I watch a lot of news. That's reality. That's about as. All right, let's see. Madden 23 is trending right now. Madden 23 kicks off on Friday. Don't know what that means, but if you know what that means, you don't need me to explain it. And if you don't know what that means, just ignore it. That's what I'm doing. Sesame Street is trending. HBO Max removes about 200 Sesame Street episodes. Ooh, should we dump into this? What was Sesame Street doing that got them removed? I wonder what this is about. HBO Max removes about 200 Sesame Street episodes. Brought to you by the letters G-O-N-E. Oh, isn't that funny? The content purge at HBO Max continues as the streaming platform has pulled about 200 older episodes of the classic kids show Sesame Street. The removal of the content and other recent episodes by HBO Max appears to be part of a new owner, Warner Brothers Discovery's belt-tightening moves aimed at reducing streaming content payment obligations. As of Friday, HBO Max listed 456 total episodes of Sesame Street with a I don't care. Okay, so it's not for anything controversial. It's just okay. So it's not important. This is why you got to do. This is why you got to prep before. Quinn Evers is trending, ladies and gentlemen. Texas Longhorns have announced that Quinn Ewers. Texas Longhorns starting quarterback will be Quinn Ewers. Steve Sarkisian announced the winner of the quarterback battle on Friday. Hook 'em Horns! It's gonna be a rough year for UT. It's not going to, I mean, we weren't in the top 25, but that doesn't mean it's going to be a terrible year. That just means we're not one of the 25 best teams. There's like a million teams. So not being in the top 25 doesn't mean you suck. Let's see here. What else? Anything else trending? James Earl Jones. Okay. James Earl Jones is trending. All I saw was that the name James Earl Jones is trending. He's trending right now at about 13 on Twitter. So he either just started trending within the last 2 seconds, and he will soon be number one because he's dead. No, I don't want to say that. I don't even know if he's dead. But if he was trending number one when I saw it, then I'd be like, oh, crap. James Earl Jones is dead. Let's see here. He's trending. Let's see why. People share which person they think would be the best to do a dramatic reading of the affidavit authorizing the search of former President Trump's estate if it were to be unsealed. There you go. All right, James Earl Jones. Gilbert Gottfried's dead, so I guess we couldn't use Gilbert. So, okay. So Gilbert Gottfried or James Earl Jones. Maybe Seth MacFarlane. Maybe I'd like to hear the affidavit read as Stewie. That might be fun. That might be good. Let's see. Anything else? Larry June. I don't know who Larry June is. Marcelo Zuna, the Masked Singer. Oh, this is fun. So the Masked Singer has been trending, but so is Tom Brady. And Tom Brady is missing from football camp, and speculation is it's because he's the Masked Singer. He's like, Tom Brady is going to be, and it's not even a joke. It's not like people joke. People are like, no, seriously. Yeah, no, Tom Brady is not in camp because he is doing something that he had team approval for. He's not absent. They knew about this, and it just so happens that the Masked Singer is filming. So we'll see. We'll see if Tom Brady turns out to be one of the Masked Singers. I don't even know what that show is. Now, I don't have a problem with the Masked Singer in the way that I have a problem with the exploitive nature of shows like, My 800-Pound Life or whatever the hell that is. Those shows make me uncomfortable. Not the same issue that I have with the Masked Singer. Masked Singer just looks stupid to me. The Masked Singer, I just watch that and I'm like, okay, I could sit here for the next hour and I can try and guess who's inside that giant costume, or I can just go do something else. And, mostly I come up with other things. I come up with like, I'd rather do this or that. So I've never seen an episode of The Masked Singer. I've only seen clips of when they're revealed, and I get it. It just doesn't seems kind of stupid. You know what it does seem? It seems like the perfect kind of thing that you would have on if you lived in a household with a couple little kids, maybe grandma, maybe your wife. You know what I mean? It seems it's perfect. It seems like just fine, appropriate, all-American television. That's fine. Just put that on. That's fine. Unlike that stupid Show Us Your Sex Tape show, I don't think that's one that you're going to want to watch with the kids and grandma. Nope. Christopher Walken is trending. What for? They arrest him for killing Natalie Wood yet? Oh, no, that's Robert Wagner. I'm not even sure if he's alive or not. Why is Christopher Walken trending? Robert Wagner's alive. I like Robert Wagner. All right, I don't know what this is. I don't know why Christopher Walken's trending. He's not dead. That's the most important thing. Elijah Wood is trending. Elijah Wood has joined the cast of Yellow Jackets. That's a Showtime series, Yellow Jackets. Elijah Wood has joined the cast of Yellow Jackets. Elijah Wood hasn't worked a lot. Elijah Wood was a big star for a long period of time. A young man, did a whole bunch of big Spider-Man for crying out loud. And then he went away. And he hasn't really done stuff. And now he's doing like an off-brand. And yes, I do consider Showtime an off-brand. It's not an HBO or a Netflix. Right? It's Showtime, right? It's kind of a little bit less. I mean, it's not as bad as Stars or like Epics, but it's, it's not HBO Max, Netflix, or Hulu. So he's doing kind of an off-brand series. I've not seen Yellow Jackets. I know people whose opinions I respect have seen Yellow Jackets and they like Yellow Jackets. So I'm not saying it's a good or a bad show. I haven't seen it. But he joins the show. Elijah Wood is supposed to be an asshole. He's supposed to be a real jerk. In fact, if you ever saw the movie Molly's Game, the depiction of the Hollywood actor who plays in the poker game, who everyone hates and who's a big baby and a complete piece of shit, that's supposed to be based on Elijah Wood. Oh, that's right. So if you've ever seen Molly's Game and you know the famous movie star actor who plays poker who's a dick, that's supposed to be Elijah Wood. Romania is trending. I don't care. Romania got a hot prime minister. They might. Romania seems like the kind of country that would elect a hot prime minister. She might have a bit of like a Morticia Adams hotness to her, a bit more of like an edge, like kind of a goth thing going. But they would do that. NATO builds Romania a base in race to counter Russia in Europe's weak spots. Is Romania part of NATO? I don't even know anymore. I don't even care. All right. That's it. We're done. That's all I got. That's all I got for you. I'm sorry. I try. But we did a full show. Look at this. We did 2 hours and 11 minutes. All right. 2 hours and 6 minutes because I started the show today at 5 after. I'll be fair. What else? What else do we got? We got nothing else. We'll see you back here on Monday, I guess. Monday at high noon. Come by. Join us. We do this every Monday through Friday from noon till... Nope, not that one. From noon till about 2. Today, look at us today. 2:11. Look at that. Hold on. There we go. We do the show every Monday through Friday from noon to whenever. It's topics, current events. Just me, just a guy yelling about stuff that he sees happening in the world today. Then we do another one. We call that Pillow Talk with myself and James Parker. That comes on Monday through Thursday at 9 p.m. Central Standard Time. Also, Parker and I, we're going back on, we've been invited. We did that Sunday night nationally syndicated radio show a couple of weeks ago, Sterling on Sundays. I think you find it everywhere. Our friend Walter Sterling hosts the show. And he likes James and I being on the show. And it's always nice for me to get on there and, have him here from radiomisfits.com. I like that. I like to get the plugs in. And Walter does a really nice job of pumping that. At least he did the first time. Well, he's asked us to come back on this weekend. So Sunday night, we're going to be on again. It looks like this might be, hopefully, fingers crossed, maybe a regular thing with Pugs and Parker promoting the Pillow Talk show on Sterling on Sundays, coast to coast on the Westwood One Broadcast Network or whatever it is. I don't know. We'll see. So if you want to check us out, you can find us. Just Google search Sterling on Sundays. It's me and James Parker. So we'll be on Sunday. I'll probably, once I know more, like I don't know. I just was told that, hey, we're doing that thing on Sunday again. So promote it. So here I am. I'm promoting it. Also, help the show if you can. Tip the show. Appreciate that. Anything you can do certainly does help us in the production of these shows. 2 shows a day. Well, Monday through Thursday, 2 shows. All right, that's it. I got nothing else. No, thank you, Jeff. Thank you for hanging out with me, Jeff. Jeff's here every day. I love Jeff. Jeff and I need to go out. Jeff and I need to meet. How many do I have I met Byron? I don't know. We need to meet all of you guys. Adam. I know Adam. I love you, Adam. You know that. Who else do we have? Take exception to something that, what a surprise, something that Adam Reyna has said regarding Elvis Andros. He says Andros would have has a guaranteed 2022 salary of $15 million. If he had reached 550 plate appearances, he was at risk. Basically Oakland got rid of him because he's too expensive and he's long past his prime. Although I do take exception with this. It's more of a mercy move so he could move to a contender. He's not good anymore, though. Okay, mercy move, I don't know. Move to a contender. They didn't move him to a contender. They moved him to the White Sox. We're not a contender. It's a disaster of a season. This year, he's not good anymore, though. I disagree with you. I disagree with you on that. I mean, obviously, whether or not somebody's good is a sliding scale, but Elvis Andros is above average in both fielding and hitting. So he's above league average still in all numbers. Now, he's not, he's not the war monster that he used to be, and he's not touching 1,000 OPS, but he's a 34-year-old guy. This idea that he's not good anymore. No, he's just not great. He's still above average major league, both at the plate and defensively. I don't know, man. I don't know, Adam. I'm not going to get it. Yes, there you go. Here, you know what? Just to stop this fucking conversation, Adam says 2.0 for a season is considered average. Yes. There you go. Yes. And now we're done with the conversation. I don't know if it is or not. I just know that obviously I've had to do a deep dive on Elvis Andros this morning when I found out that he was showing up in my team's locker room. I used to love the guy. Kind of lost track of him. Happy to have a solid glove at shortstop while we wait for our team captain to come back from IL. Look, we're going to get Tim Anderson back in early September. So it'll be fine. All Elvis needs to do is hold it down for us for a couple of weeks. Be a nice presence in the locker room, you know? Something like that. I don't care. No, he's slightly above average. I'm going to believe what the baseball experts that I've been reading offering those hot takes had to say about this all morning. Over you, Adam. No offense. Love you, though. Bye, everybody.